maliwanagan lang sana ang minorya. Pagkat wala po akong nakikitang budget ng DPWH at kung talagang transparency ang habol natin, bakit wala rito ang pinagmulan ng pagpopoot at kawalang kampiyansa ng taong bayan sa atin? Dapat mag-umpisa ang usapin dito sa Public Works. Pero wala sa anumang papel sa 9-page summary o dito man sa binigay sa atin kahapon lamang na reconciliation of disagreeing provisions. Bakit po walang budget yung DPWH?
My colleagues from the Senate Committee on Finance and our counterparts from the House of Representatives Committee on Appropriations. It is my distinct honor to welcome you to this bicameral conference committee meeting. Every year, Congress convenes as a single body to finalize at BICAM its most important legislation, discussing the varying perspectives of each member and reconciling their fiscal priorities to craft a national budget that is coherent, transparent, and responsive to the needs of the Filipino people. This year finds us in extraordinary times. The 2026 national budget is being deliberated upon as the nation grapples with the corruption revealed in the flood control scandal. Public trust in our government institution has been shaken, and so it is imperative that we do everything we can to repair our social contract with the people we have sworn to serve. In response to this call, each chamber has demonstrated its serious and consensuous commitment to meet the people's demand for transparency. The Senate, in fulfillment of Senate Concurrent Resolution Number 4, has made publicly accessible documents relating to the national budget all in digital format through a centralized Senate Budget Transparency Portal. And today, for the first time in history, the Bicameral Conference Committee meeting on the 2026 national budget is live streamed. This is a recognition that the Filipino people are the ultimate stakeholders of every peso contained within every national budget. And as such, they have the right to know exactly where their taxes go. As we go to the BICAM proper, this meeting will seek to operationalize a procedure governing the initiation and passage of all appropriations bills pursuant to Article 6, Section 24 of the 1987 Constitution. This provision mandates that all appropriation, revenue, or tariff bills authorizing increase of public debt, bills of local application, and private bills shall originate exclusively in the House of Representatives. The same provision expressly empowers the Senate to propose or concur with amendments. This BICAM will be a parallel execution of this procedure by presenting the 2026 General Appropriations Bill as passed by the House of Representatives on third reading and deliberating on the proposed amendments of the Senate as passed on third reading to decide on the disagreeing appropriations. It is my deepest hope and prayer that through us, your conferees, each chamber will be able to fulfill its constitutional role. Hindi lamang upang mapanatili ang integridad ng sistema ng legislatura, kundi upang matiyak na ang pambansang budget na ito, ang kalooban at kapangyarihan ng sambayanang Pilipino ang mananaig. Sa ating pagpupulong sa araw na ito, pagtibayin pa natin ang prinsipyong nagbigay buhay sa ating republika at sa ligang batas. Ang paniniwala na lahat hindi pagkakaunawaan ay nabibigyan ng liwanag sa pamamagitan ng mahinahong diskusyon, bukas na pag-uusap at pagkakaisa. I know that as we review the varying fiscal and development priorities, we will be guided by the values of fairness, service, and justice. Pakinggan natin ang bawat pananaw ng may paggalang sa isa't isa. Alalahanin natin na ang budget na ating ipapasa ay huhubog sa buhay ng milyong-milyong mga Pilipino na sa susunod na taon. Panatilihin nating malawak ang ating pananaw lampas sa mga suliranin ng kasalukuyan tungo sa isang mapayapa at masaganang kinabukasan para sa ating mga kababayan. Siguraduhin natin na ang pambansang budget para sa taong 2026 ay magsisilbing daan sa pag-angat ng buhay ng bawat Pilipino. Ipakita natin sa kanila na hindi lang katang-isip ang isang gobyernong matino, bukas at kumikilos ng tama. Patunayan nating lahat na hindi natin pababayaan ang kanilang mga pangarap. Maraming salamat. Magandang hapon po.
Mr. Chair, with your permission, I will also deliver a brief opening remark on the part of the conferees of the House of Representatives. Honorable members of the House and Senate panels, distinguished colleagues in public service, members of the media who are with us here in PICC, and to our countrymen closely watching this historic day, good afternoon. We are here today not only to address the disagreeing provisions of fiscal year 2026 General Appropriations Bill, or House Bill number 4508, but also to continue a series of structural reforms that place transparency, accountability, and public participation at the center of our budget process. We started by abolishing the small committee and establishing the first ever Budget Amendments Review Subcommittee, or the BARC. The BARC's over 20 hours of deliberations on institutional amendments were live streamed, and all amendments approved were shown line by line. Moreover, all committee hearings and plenary deliberations were live streamed. We enhanced engagement with civil society organizations and conducted the first ever People's Budget Review. For the first time in recent history, the period of amendments in the House was open to all members, and all amendments were incorporated before the second reading approval. Ang makasaysayang araw na ito, ang pinakaunang araw sa kasaysayan na bubuksan sa publiko ang BICAM, ay sumasalamin po sa paninindigan ng Kongreso na tanggalin ang tabing sa usaping budget at talagang ipakita kung saan napupunta ang bawat piso ng buwis mula sa dugo at pawis ng bawat Pilipino. This is the actualization of the House's commitment since August, even before the budget deliberation started, to open and live stream the bicameral conference committee proceedings. And this is something the House and the Senate leadership have strongly advocated for jointly over the last few months. I would like to discuss key highlights of the House version of the GAB that the House panel puts forth to this bicameral conference committee. The 255 billion pesos from the removal of flood control projects under DPWH were reallocated mainly to the three key sectors identified by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr.: education, health, and agriculture. Specifically, 201.1 billion out of the 255 billion pesos, or 79%, went to the following: 56.6 billion towards education, 90.7 billion towards health, and 53.7 billion towards agriculture. The budget for fiscal year 2026 will contain the highest budget education in history. With the 56.6 billion pesos added by the House of Representatives, the total budget for the education sector will be 1.28 trillion pesos, which translates to 4.1% of GDP. This is the first time ever in history that we will breach the 4% international benchmark. Of this, 56.64 billion pesos, with the 35.1 billion added by the House, the budget for the Basic Education Facilities Program will increase to 63.2 billion pesos. This amount translates to around 25,200 new and rehabilitated classrooms in 2026, or 63% of the 40,000 classrooms envisioned by the President to be built and rehabilitated by 2028. Next, fiscal year 2026 will be the first year that we will be able Next, this is the first ever year that we will be able to fully fund the implementation of UACTE, since it was passed into law in 2017. With the 4.48 billion pesos added by the House and the House special provision enabling the use of the 7.82 billion pesos from the Higher Education Development Fund, we will be able to fully fund the 12.3 billion peso deficiency to 113 SUCs in fiscal year 2026. This is something that the SUCs have been clamoring for the past past 6 years. With a total funding of 52.2 billion pesos for UACTE, CHED-TES, CHED-TDP, TES the STEP, and TES the TWSP, we will be able to provide scholarships to 2.49 million learners. Next, under the health cluster, with the 90 billion pesos added by the House, the total health sector budget increased to 411.2 billion pesos. With the 60 billion pesos added by the House, the total subsidy for PhilHealth increases to 113 billion pesos, geared towards the improvement of benefits. With the 25 billion added by the House, the total for MAIFIP increases to 49.2 billion pesos to actualize the directive of President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. to provide zero balance billing for indigent patients in government hospitals. Next, under the agriculture cluster, with the 53.8 billion pesos added by the House, the total agriculture sector budget increased to 292.9 billion pesos. Of this, 10 billion pesos is provided for the presidential assistance for farmers and fisherfolk, expected to benefit 1.43 million farmers and fisherfolk. With the 35.5 billion pesos added by the House, a total of 74.5 billion pesos will be provided towards the construction and rehabilitation of farm-to-market roads and irrigation infrastructure. Moreover, 30 billion pesos is provided under RCEF towards the provision of farm mechanization and other inputs. The House also added 1 billion pesos for crop insurance, 2.4 billion pesos for the construction of deep water ports, and 200 million pesos for the implementation of the new Agrarian Emancipation Act. Lahat po ito ay para tulungan ang ating mga bayaning magsasaka na bumaba ang kanilang mga gastusin at mapataas ang kanilang ani at kita. To our colleagues in the Senate, our House panel looks forward to working with you in this bicameral conference committee in crafting a final version of the budget for fiscal year 2026 that truly is responsive to the needs of the Filipino people in our country. I am very hopeful because as we look at the two versions, we both have the same priority areas, which is education, health, and agriculture. Sa atin pong mga kababayan, tinanggal na po ng inyong Kongreso ang tabing sa usaping budget. Ginawa po ng inyong Kongreso ang lahat para siguraduhin na ang budget ay transparent, malinis, at may sapat na safeguards para siguraduhin hindi ito maaaring maabuso. Pinapangako po ng inyong Kongreso na ang budget para sa taong 2026 ay mararamdaman ng bawat Pilipino, na ito ay tunay na tumutugon sa pangangailangan ng ating mga kababayan at ng ating bansa, na ito ay isang budget na inyong mapagkakatiwalaan. Maraming salamat po para sa Diyos at Bayan.
Maraming salamat, Chairperson Mika, at natutuwa ho ako at kami dahil yung tema ng budget ng Senado ay halos kahalintulad na rin, o tingin ko parehong-pareho na rin sa tema rin ng budget ng House of Representatives. Kami rin po, binigyan ho namin ng malaking atensyon ang sektor ng edukasyon, malaking atensyon ang sektor ng public health at agriculture. At makikita ho natin mamaya sa mga detalye na itong tatlong sektor na ito ay nabibigyan ngayon ng malaking pahalaga para maramdaman ng ating mga kababayan ang tunay na serbisyo ng gobyerno. At ito talaga ang nakikita kong kailangan ng kailangan, mga basic necessities, basic services para po sa ating mga kababayan.
Tama po yun, Mr. Chair. Yun po yung isa namin na nakita na talagang maganda at alam ko, I'm also very confident that we will be able to craft a version of the budget na talaga pong sumasalamin sa gusto pong mangyari ng ating mga kasamahan pareho po sa Kongreso at sa Senado. Dahil alam ko naman po, yun na rin po yung sinabi sa atin ng ating Pangulong Ferdinand Marcos Jr. noong SONA na sana mabigyan ng prioridad ang human capital development patungkol po sa edukasyon, agrikultura at kalusugan. Kaya makikita naman po natin pareho sa version ng House of Representatives at na Senado na ang pinakamalaki, ang bulto po na ang pondo ng ating gobyerno ay atin pong ilalaan para po sa tatlong mahahalagang sektor na ito. So, mamaya po, hihimayin po natin yan, Senwin, alam na po natin yan na hihimayin po natin lahat ng mga items patungkol po sa edukasyon, agrikultura at kalusugan.
Salamat. In fact, I would like to ask kung meron pong gusto magbigay ng opening statement. We recognize Senator Kiko Pangilinan.
Yes, maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, this is not so much an opening statement as a matter of putting on record that a statement was forwarded to us by the Roundtable for Inclusive Development, RFID, and the People's Budget Coalition, signed by Bishop of Caloocan, Pablo Virgilio Cardinal David, Ramon Del Rosario of the Roundtable for Inclusive Development, Kenneth Abante, co-convener of People's Budget Coalition, and Bendanya Hyacinth Nacario Bendanya, coordinator of the People's Budget Coalition. May we request the chairman of the Senate panel to provide all members of the Bicameral Conference Committee a copy of their statement, and that hopefully we will be guided and perhaps an initial response, because I forwarded this statement to the chairman of the Senate panel the other day. Maybe an initial response before we go into the actual proceedings and the debates, Mr. President. Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, thank you, Senator Kiko Pangilinan. Yes, indeed, you forwarded to the committee a letter from the RFID group and the People's Budget Coalition. And in this letter, meron ho silang 7 items na recommendation ho sa Bicameral Conference Committee and both the Senate and the House of Representatives on how to improve transparency in the budget deliberation. And I made a checklist. Actually, I showed you the checklist. Out of the 7 recommendations, 4 have been fulfilled by the House of Representatives and also the Senate. For example po, all of the documents pertaining to the budget deliberations from the start, ibig sabihin ho, pagsubmit pa lang sa Kongreso ng NEP, approval ng GAB, at pati yung Senate version, lahat ho ito naka-upload na ho sa website. No? Dati ho hindi ginagawa yon, ngayon naka-upload ho sa website. So pwede na ho ng ating mga kababayan makita yan in real time. So 4 out of the 7 ay na-fulfill. The rest actually, yung 3 ho ay hindi natin ma-fulfill dahil yung isa, recommendation nila nandito yung mga ahensya. No? Sa Bicameral Conference Committee, alam naman ho natin na it's both the House and the Senate ang composition ng BICAM, hindi po yung mga ahensya. But we're happy to work with them to further improve the process. Like what Congresswoman Mika mentioned earlier, na first time to in history. So marami pa ho tayong pwedeng gawin para ma-improve yung transparency process ng budget deliberation. And we're very open and we welcome suggestions, especially from our constituents.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to stress that napakahalaga ng people's participation, citizens' participation in our government deliberations and discussions. And that's why I placed this on record, and that's why I would like all members of the Bicameral Conference Committee to be given copies. Mas maganda at mas maayos ang transparency pagka ang mamamayan mismo ay we engage with citizens groups and organizations in the deliberation of the 2026 budget. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chairman.
Maraming salamat, Senator Kiko, for that intervention.
Mr. Chair, if we may, on the part of the House, thank you for acknowledging, Chair Win, with regard to the transparency measures that we've already done in the House. It's the same checklist po, right? The 7 items that were mentioned here. So, as we mentioned, like all the amendments, we will make sure that it's very transparent as to who will advocate for them. We've done that during the BARC, even during the period of amendments of the House. Ngayon din po makikita natin line by line lahat. So bukas po lahat ng mga amyenda. In terms of the live streaming, pareho naman po. Ang Kongreso at ang Senado pareho po tayong nagpasa ng resolusyon patungkol po sa live streaming at yung pagpapublish po ng bicameral report and minutes and yung matrix po ng disagreeing provisions. So lahat po ito, tulad po ng binanggit po ni Sen Win, ito po ang pinakaunang pagkakataon sa kasaysayan ng ating bansa na binuksan po ang BICAM. We are adopting as we go and we hope to improve the process as we go along in the succeeding budget cycles. Pero nagpapasalamat po kami sa ating pong mga kaibigan sa civil society organizations na ating pong naging katuwang sa paglilinang po, pagpapaganda lalo ng ating proseso sa kahabaan po ng budget deliberations.
Maraming salamat. Senator Erwin Tulfo?
So just be quick, Mr. Chair. This representation firmly believes that our collective focus must be education and health, and I believe this is the first time the twin foundations of long-term national development. These are not optional expenditures, Mr. Chair. They're strategic investments that determine whether our people merely survive or truly thrive. In education, for example, we are confronted with learning poverty, overcrowded classrooms, underpaid teachers, and a generation struggling to recover from years of disruption. Adequate funding for classrooms, teachers' welfare, digital learning tools, and student support is essential if we are serious about building a competitive, innovative, and resilient nation. In health, the lessons of recent years remain painfully clear, Mr. Chair. Our hospital remains overstretched, our health workers undersupported, and access to quality care remains unequal, especially in rural and far-flung communities. Strengthening primary care, public hospitals, disease prevention, and mental health service must be at the core of this budget if we are to protect both lives and livelihoods. At the same time, we must speak also, Mr. Chair and my fellow members, candidly about infrastructure spending, particularly in flood control projects. While infrastructure has a role in development, we cannot ignore the reality that some projects have failed to deliver protection to our communities, and worse, have been tainted by allegations of misuse and pocketing of public funds. Every peso lost to corruption is a classroom not built, hospital bed not provided, and a life put at risk. This bicameral conference is our opportunity to correct course, to realign resources towards sectors that directly uplift our people, to ensure transparency and accountability, and to restore public trust in the budgeting process. Let us be guided, dear colleagues, not by political convenience, but by conscience. Let us craft a 2026 national budget that places the Filipino learner and the Filipino patient at the center, and that proves this Congress is capable of choosing people over pork and progress over plunder. Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I look forward to a principled and productive deliberation.
Maraming salamat, Senator Erwin, for those reminders. Any conferee who want to give Senator Amy Marcos?
Yes, maraming salamat sa dalawang chair natin. At maliwanagan lang sana ang minorya. Pagkat wala po akong nakikitang budget ng DPWH at kung talagang transparency ang habol natin, bakit wala rito ang pinagmulan ng pagpopoot at kawalang kampiyansa ng taong bayan sa atin? Dapat mag-umpisa ang usapin dito sa Public Works. Pero wala sa anumang papel sa 9-page summary o dito man sa binigay sa atin kahapon lamang na reconciliation of disagreeing provisions. Bakit po walang budget yung DPWH?
Ang schedule po ng DPWH ay bukas po.
Paano natin malalaman at maihahambing ang iba't ibang mga department kung may kulang? At bakit DPWH lang ang nawawala sa talakayan?
Actually, may mga ibang mga items po ho na bukas po itatalakay, katulad po ng mga special purpose funds, and program appropriation. So tomorrow
Yung
po ay
program po nandito.
tomorrow po ang tomorrow ho yung pag-uusapan.
Pero narito na. Andito naman yung unprogrammed at hinanap ko talaga. Arito naman yung unprogrammed. Dito sa page 31 ng page 32 na kumpleto. Kaya pinagtatakangan ko bakit yung DPWH wala po. At kung tatalakayin bukas, maaari bang ibigay sa amin ng mas maaga pagkat yung committee report, kung maalala ko, ay mahigit kumulang 1,000 at 500 pahina.
Noted po. We'll provide her honor the documents ahead of time.
Kailan kaya matatapos yung DPWH budget? Kasi yun talaga ang inaasahan ng taong bayan.
Assured po na ipro-provide po sa her honor at sa lahat po ng conferees, hindi lang po sa Senate but also sa House of Representatives po.